I briefly looked over your consultation, your form, your type form, and it looks like you're just looking for obedience, correct?
Oops. Yeah. Just obedience. So I'm going in September to Poland with Luna. And we live in like the mountains and there's just fields and wild animals. So I need to know that she will come back to me if there's like an unknown dog or a sheep or whatever. Which now in the park, yeah, there's sheep and cows, which can get dangerous because they can kick her if she starts barking. So that's really my main priority, is just to like have some sort of safeguard that I can call her back, because now her recall is like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else I should know about Luna?
No, I mean, she's under a year old. She's fairly smart. But still we're working. And part of it is also I'm not a very consistent trainer. So I know that like a lot of this I could do without the e-collar, but it is what it is. I know that's like such an effective method.
Yeah. So yeah, just obedience. And then I know you said recall. What other commands are you looking to know or have Luna know?
Yeah, so she's pretty good at, she knows sit, stay, wait, leave it, like spin, like all the little tricks and stuff. But like here is the recall command I use, and that she'll listen to like if she feels like it.
Okay. You know? Okay.
But another one that is important, I think, is leave it, because she doesn't usually, like, she won't leave gross things, you know?
Okay. Is it like picking stuff up from the ground during her walks?
Yeah. Like, it's gross, but she loves throw up and like dead animals and things like that. So when it's something that she finds tasty, she will not leave it. If it's something she's like kind of interested in, then she will.
Okay. And then what else? I know I saw, I think something like where she was, you worked with the training with her before. Was that just for, was like puppy stuff, or was that for, how was that?
Yeah, so she went to like a puppy kindergarten to kind of get socialized and get the basics, which was great. And then we did a basic obedience class. We're in a like leash walking class right now. We did an agility class. It's just, I feel like classes are a great way to make her use her mind for like an hour a week, which I know she's like a working breed or whatever, which I just learned. So giving her like activities to do, but a lot of what I'm learning in these classes is that so much of it is what I do. And like I was saying before, I'm just not super consistent.
Okay. And then how active is she? How like, do you go, how long your walks, or?
She does. She does. I'm like, I don't know. Bless you. Do you say that? No.
I did. It was like a hiccup. I
don't know. We do like an hour and a half walk, or hour in the morning, usually sometimes another half hour at night.
Okay. All right. And then what training tool is she on? Is she on like just a regular collar, a prong, or?
Just a normal collar. She has a harness when we go on longer walks. I didn't do the clicker or anything. It's just the command.
Oh. Okay. And then what else? Okay. And then it sounds like you already know, but you're aware of like our training methods and like the tools we use when we're working with dogs and everything, like prong collar, e-collars, and all those things.
Yeah. So what I understand about you guys, you have great reviews, and I know you often work with dogs that have like real, I don't know, like leash aggression and like really tough issues to deal with. But well, I did a lot of reading, and people are the like dog community is so split on the e-collar training method. But what convinced me was I watched a video, and I forget who was in it, but it was just like, it's not to hurt the dog, it's like tell them something.
Yeah, I think might have been, if it was on Instagram, might have been Maddie. She did a good video on it, and just has a few videos. But yeah, 1 second. Okay. So it sounds like you did your own research as well, which is good. But yeah, 6 months, once a dog reaches 6 months, puppies, once they reach 6 months, they're automatically on e-collar, whether they're, a nervous dog, the happy-go-lucky golden retriever, the aggressive dog as well. We always do ECOG just because of like our success rate we get with it. So like we have other methods, we're, I guess, balanced trainers. We have the positive only for like the puppies, and we can only do so much with puppies, so it's just a lot of food stuff. So 6 months and under, there's a lot of food stuff, and then we also incorporate food with the ECOG training as well here and there. So you have like the positive only, which is strictly food, and that ceiling for like the 6 months and older, like dogs who are like reactive or pull on the leash. Sometimes food isn't the answer, right? Because if I don't know, if Luna's looking at a dog or a sheep, right? She's like, sheep, and then you're like, here, Luna, here's like a little piece of turkey. She's like, sometimes dogs think, turkey, I can get that later, right? But the sheep I've never seen before, I want the sheep, right? So then that's where they get like, owners get discouraged, like, the food's not working, they get upset, and they hate their dog, they hate their life, all this other things, right? And then so the ceiling is pretty low for that, and if anything, if you are getting progress, it's going to take years, to kind of really get there. And then we have as if it's a puppy we're raising, leash wise and tool wise, we like to use gentle leaders on the puppies. It's not a correctional tool, it's just to have more control on the puppy to avoid because since they're growing, the trachea collapsing. And then we don't like using harnesses. Dogs have what's called an opposition reflex. So if you pull back on the harness, they pull forward. So if you pull left, they pull right. If you pull right, they pull left, right? So harnesses are a training tool, but they're not for leash walking. So Huskies have harnesses. In protection training, we use harnesses as well. So handler will have dog on a harness, and then they'll pull and release, pull and release, pull and release. And then the person who's like the aggressor is across from them. And then once they've created enough frustration and like, frustration, they let them go. And then they go and like bite the guy, right? So harnesses, there's a pressure right here pulling back. This is like negative pressure for dogs. So like, but puppies, if the owners are using harnesses, puppy sees a dog, they want to go say hi to the dog, they pull them away, not today. And as they keep doing this, the puppy's like, you know what? Every time I see a dog, I get this annoying thing. I hate dogs. And then that can turn to frustration, which turns to reactivity, barking on the leash, and they're pulling them back and they're getting agitated. And then sometimes that reactivity can turn into dog aggression. It's rare. It's only sometimes if like you're consistently doing it. So that's why we don't like harnesses. We don't use harnesses. And then we go to prong collar, right? Prong collar is like that spiky collar that like closes when you pull and everything. It's supposed to mimic a dog bite, right? Prong collar is a good step forward because it now allows you to correct your dog. And dogs are physical animals, right? So if Luna was playing too rough with an older dog, and maybe this older dog has certain boundaries, like, you don't do that to me, that dog would probably use its mouth to correct Luna, like a quick bite, right? It's natural. Dogs are physical animals. They thrive on physicality. Dogs don't give each other treats. So if Luna was mounting a dog, the dog wouldn't say, no, leave it. And then, oh, good, leave it and give a treat, right? They don't do that. It's just action, and there's a consequence for that action, right? So prong collar is good in that sense of now you can correct your dog. There are certain ways to teach prong collar. The old school way is the yank and crank. Just like, you do something bad, leash pop, right? That's the incorrect way. There's a certain way we're doing it now. It's, getting them used to feeling the prong collar and using a lot of food and all these other things, right? Issues with prong collar, sometimes it's not enough power to override the brain of excitement, right? So like golden retrievers, people think golden retrievers shouldn't be on e-class, they should be on the regular harness and everything because they're so happy-go-lucky, right? Golden retrievers are like the toughest dog because they don't perceive threat. They're just they're so happy and like, whoa, what's that? So like the prong collar sometimes isn't enough to cut the excitement of a golden retriever. So they're still like, what? I don't know what that means, but I'm still happy, right? They don't understand. So then that's where the issue can also pop up, is like, it's not enough pressure or power to override the brain.
Is a prong collar like the step before an e-collar, or is it just two separate things? Or do you like try prong first, see if it works?
technically so for prong and e-collar training, right? We had a 4-month-old Doberman puppy. She's European line, so she's because there's two different types of Dobermans: American, European. Americans like those little smaller, thinner ones. They're like medium-sized dogs. Europeans are like the bigger muscle dogs, right? So she was going to be a European Doberman, right? So they wanted e-collar training, and she was with us for 4 weeks. So just because she's so young, right? If we slap an e-collar on her, there might be a little bit of more confusion than a normal dog would because she's so young, right? Usually at 6 months, the brain has developed enough to understand pressure and the pressure concepts. So she did a week of prong collar training, right? So we just taught her what pressure was first. This is pressure and this is how you get rid of pressure. Then week 2, we did e-collar, and then it was so much, there's so much flow, right? She's like, oh, I know what this is. Right away she got it, right? So in that sense, yes, but you can also have prong collar with e-collar. There's no need for prong collar. If owners want to do it that way, we can absolutely do it just to teach them pressure. Yeah, it's it could be used as like a warm up to e-collar as well.
How many sessions do you usually need to get a dog used to e-collars? I know every dog's different, but
yeah. So if the dog is 6 months and older, we go straight into e-collar. If it's a younger puppy, that's when we start teaching them prong to e-collar.
So like in one session, she'd get it, maybe? You think?
If we're doing it in person,
Yeah.
how old is Luna?
She's 11 months.
Okay, so she wouldn't need it, but if we're doing it in person, it's just we wouldn't do it in person because it's more nuanced. It's not because like okay, so we taught her prong, right? The owner wouldn't be using prong. We're only using prong for her to get acclimated to the e-collar, right? So when the owner got her back, she didn't touch the prong. I don't think she uses the prong, right? But it's nuanced because sometimes, like her first time on prong, she was screaming, right? And sometimes dog owners are like, oh, okay, we're not going to do this, right? But you need to work her through that for her to understand, oh, that's all I have to do. Just move this way when she feels it, right? So it's like, prong collar, food, and a whole bunch of these other things. Because if you are too rough or not doing it right, you can create nervous piddling, where it's like they just pee out of nervousness, and it's very hard to fix, right? So it's a very nuanced. It's like for the trainer, right? So we don't teach dog owners how to be dog trainers, right? Because that's unrealistic. You don't need to learn all these other fancy commands and using food with training, all these things, right? E-collar is so simple that you don't need to know all these things, right? You're just pressing a button. So we're teaching you like dog owners, right? We don't teach you like competition things, there's here and there, there's fun tricks and everything, but there's competition, dog obedience stuff, and then there's like the family, pet, and home things. Does that make sense?
So I guess I wasn't clear with my question. So if I were to like send Luna to you guys, it's not like, is it like 1 hour with me and Luna and the trainer, or with you, I guess it would be? Or is it like I hand her over for an hour and I'm not there?
Were you looking into a one-on-one board and train or a daycare and train?
Yeah, sorry, I guess you wouldn't know. I wanted to buy like a one-on-one package. I saw that there's like several, like 4 or 6 or something like that. So I'm hoping she won't need more than 4, but if she does, then obviously get more. But yeah, I was hoping like one-on-one, like use your expertise to gently introduce her to the e-collar. So because I don't know what I'm doing, and like use the treat she loves. She's very food motivated. So use that to the advantage, and then train her and me and like how to use the e-collar to get her to come back in an emergency situation.
Okay, I see. So the one-on-one in person, we only have 6, 9, 12. You're probably more in like, if you're just looking for the, recall, right? And
leave it.
And leave it. That's like the 6-week program. You'd only need 6 classes for that. That's not touching prong, right? Prong is not required at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Prong is something that you can have, right? So we have an older couple who has a Portuguese water dog that's big, right? They need the prong because they're older and he's like really strong, right?
Okay.
If you want, us to kind of like do a lot of training with her, prong with food, and then get her to e-collar. That's more like the board and train, or like the daycare and train maybe. But the one-on-one, you wouldn't need to do all those things. There's no warm up to e-collar. The way we teach it, they understand it right away. The only issue is like like the puppies, they don't understand right away, because then you'll get them, if we get the e-collar right away with the 4-month-old Doberman, there'd be a lot more vocalization, a lot more frustration, and a lot of different things going on, right?
11 months should be okay, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, she's Luna's fine, and she's a Vizsla. I think she's a pretty tough dog too. They're tough dogs. um
I've seen I think the other trainer in Oz Park working and like recording training sessions, and I live like a block away from Oz Park, so I was hoping it could happen at Oz Park.
Yeah, we operate Oz Park. So you know, reasons is because everything's there, dogs running around, bikes, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So you know, we go at Oz Park as well. But yeah, so I think you're more in the 6-week program with Luna. If depending on what you're looking for command wise, right? 6-week would cover, so 2 classes is heel. The next 2 would be recall, and then you have 2 left. So it could either be, you know, teaching you like a stationary command, like a go to your bed, don't move, down, stay, anything like that. And then the last class could be like, you know, a review, maybe on a little bit of like long leash work with her or something like that, right? Now, if you want more commands, that's like the 9-week program would be for you. Like, you know, same thing, 2 classes heel, 2 classes recall, and then you have more classes to do like long leash heel, trying to get her off leash, right? Recall is going to be off leash. The way we teach it is off leash recall, right? Recall for us is not recall is not recall if it's not off leash trained, right? That's another issue with the prong collar. Once you take that leash off, you have lost control, right? Yeah. So then that's where we go to e-collar to get that control when there's no leash, right? So e-collar, what do you know about e-collar?
Not much, except that it can, I mean, it shocks them, and then it can also vibrate or make a sound, right?
The model we use is called Dogtra. Has a stimulation button.
Is that the shock?
Yeah. So yeah, and then we have vibration on the front, right? So have you ever been to a physical therapist? Mm-hmm. So have you ever had what's it called, TENS unit, a little muscle contractor? No, they have this object or a machine. They put it on like a muscle, and then like it's electric, and then like it contracts the muscle, right? Mm-hmm. So the therapist goes, you know, I'm gonna raise the level. Let me know what's uncomfortable. Client says, "It's okay. That's enough." They lower it 2 levels down, and they let the machine do its work, right? That is same technology that's used on humans is what is on the e-collar, right? So it has 2 probes. It's on the neck, right? It's just a muscle contractor. You'll see like the muscles start to twitch on like a dog, or if I had it on my hand and I kept going up, you'll start to see my thumb just like move like that, right? It's electric, but it's not electricity. So when we press a button, it's not flowing through the dog's body, right? It's not like that. It's just the 2 contact points. Whatever they're touching is what it's going to contract. The muscle it's going to be touching, right? They're waterproof, mile-long range, very long range, rechargeable. There's no batteries needed. Just plug them in the wall. The brand we use they have 127 levels, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 127, right? There are other brands out there that maybe go up to 10, right? So think of the power outage of 10 equal to 127. We just have so many more numbers to be more specific to the dog, the breed, personality, the situation we're in as well. So the issue with the 10 level is like, you know, 5 is we're getting, you know, 5 where Luna's yelping is too much, or she's not listening, is too little, so then we're stuck. For us, 40 is too low, 50 is too high, we go to 45. Simple as that. I don't know what Luna's operating number would be on the e-collar. She will let us know. Similar to like the physical therapist with the client. You know, the client is the one telling them, right? Luna will let us know. So there's other trainers out there who operate or are like, you know, low level trainers, like 5, 7, like, you know, the owners are like, why are we at low numbers? It's because that's unrealistic. That's not the correct way to train. They're doing a lot more foundation work, and it's not realistic for other dog owners who get those tough dogs who like operate on 80s. Their normal level is an 80, right?
Yeah.
You were gonna say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I know this is like I'm like a helicopter dog mom, but I don't want her to like hurt.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like it's not gonna hurt her, or you have to get to a level where it hurts and then go down. Is that how you like figure out what's the right level?
Yeah. So what we don't want is yelping. We don't want, because if we're getting yelping, we're gonna get an edgy dog, and an edgy dog is not good, right? So we need a level where she's like, what was that, and then after that, okay, we'll stick with this number and see how it works, right? So last Saturday we had a German Shepherd reactive, like would blow up, and we were finding her number. We ended up on like 97, right? Okay, we're at 97. We got the reaction that is desired and everything. We start training, yelp. Okay, let's go down. 70 now, still yelping. Okay, 40 and 30. We went down all the way to 20, and she was responding, right? So we're going to be going up and down, trying to figure out her number, because it's normal to start up high, right? And then it's also normal to start going low as they're becoming more focused and like, okay, I know what's going on now. They're not going to need that number anymore, right? But you will never, yeah, we were high at that number, but we're never going to psychologically, physically mess up a dog from that, right? I like to always think that dogs bite each other, right? We will never reach the power of a dog bite, right? So, if for some reason her number is high, right, and she's yelping, we're too high. But if we're high and she's just like taking it like nothing, then that's on Luna. She's telling me she's comfortable with this number. This is the number that works for her. So we need to stay on this number. If we're looking at the 80 and we're like, I kind of want to be on a 20, you're gonna struggle a lot. She's not gonna catch on. It's gonna be very repetitive, and she's gonna like regress a lot, right? So it's important to be on her appropriate number for Luna's personality and everything like that. But again, the number is always going to be changing, so don't get married to a number. Environment, if she's getting hot, if it's raining, if there's a lot of dogs around, if she's playing with a dog friend, her number might be higher. If she's in the home, she might be low, things like that. Any other questions so far?
Yeah, do they like, if I were, let's say she learns how to do it and then I don't need to use it, like she maybe has it on, but she's listening, do they forget? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you have to like retrain them if for 6 months I don't have to use it?
Yeah.
Or
So we had a board and train here named Jaeger, and he left, and she was happy, everything was going good, and then all of a sudden she's like, Jesse, it's like he forgot everything. I don't know what's going on. So Jesse went, gave her a visit, and was working with him and everything, and then he realized the number was too low. So all he did was turn it up, and then he said he just saw it. He's like, oh, I remember everything, right?
yeah.
So other trainers are, we heard a client say, yeah, I have my trainer for 3 years. This is my trainer for 3 years, and we're like, 3 years. Like after our program, you're set and you're done for life. You have everything, right? The foundation is there. All you need to do is reinforce it. Do you need to practice? Yes, to kind of keep it up in there. But it's very easy to practice with our program because, it's when you walk your dog. Everyone walks their dog all the time, so it's giving you opportunities to practice, right? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks.
Another common question that kind of goes along with that is, once we're done training, like the program is done and everything, will the e-collar just go away? Like, would I need it, or is it only on for the program, or things like that, right? So the e-collar is on when you need it. So if you're going to go on walks, it's going to be on. Why? Because even after the program, right? Prior training, post training, let's say we're on a walk and then like a car crash happens right next to you on a busy street, right? Or a firework goes off, or something sudden. And then you're caught off guard, and then let's say Luna either, she bolts because when, she can get started, she can go into flight mode, and maybe the leash slips out your hand, right? When dogs are in flight mode, they're literally thinking kill or be killed. So no Luna come or treats are going to help you there. So the e-collar is what will override the brain from that mindset to bring her back. So we can't predict what's going to happen on these walks. So that's where the e-collar comes in handy, right? Are you going to be pressing that button all the time on your walks? No, you shouldn't be, because we've done all that already, right? Jesse, me, we press a button once a month, maybe here and there, after training. But it's just on if you need it for emergencies for that reason, because we don't know what's going to happen in this walk, right? Now, let's say Luna is an angel in the home, then she doesn't need the e-collar. Let's say guests come over and you find Luna's very jumpy and doesn't have any boundaries, right? 30 minutes prior, you'd collar her up, address whatever that needs to be addressed. And then if you find that Luna is settled throughout the night and she doesn't need to be, pressed or anything, then you can just take the collar off and just let her hang out, right? So things like that, just on when you need it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's one of the commands you could teach her to like settle, like where, I don't know, because right now she doesn't know how to just like settle down.
Okay.
That's something that you can like teach them to do, like just like lay down.
So is it like what is it you go for a walk, you come home and she's still excited, or how does
She usually gets the zoomies after her walks, which I feel like is normal, but I mean more like when I take her out to a patio to like eat, she'll sit for a while, but then like start wanting food. And I wish I could tell her just chill out.
Yes. So
Yeah.
e-collar, it's almost therapeutic for certain dogs, right? So when they get car anxiety, right? They're in the car, they're whining, they're like shaking and everything. We can use the e-collar in that situation to tell them settle. And like even in the kennel, if they're anxious in the kennel, we can use the e-collar because they're in a mindset. They're imagine like you're you just had a party, right? And then your parents are out of town, and then you get the call, hey honey, we're coming home. Oh no, you're freaking out because it's your house, your parents, and then you're saying all these things, you're going like panic mode, right? And then your friend comes out of nowhere, just like like claps in front of you, like, hey, we're gonna get it done, and calms you down. So think of e-collar as like that. We're just snapping the brain out of that to tell them just relax. So with excitement, it's the same thing. Are you wanting to have her learn how to be at a patio and just like be in because we have so 6 week, you take your dog for a walk, you need recall to call them to get them back from the dog park. The 9 week, think of the 9 week as you take your dog for a walk, you need a recall from the dog park, and then you take her to outdoor patios. The 12 week is everything, and then you take her for hikes like every other weekend, and you need that off leash stuff, right? So depending on what program you want, if you're looking for the some more stationary control like the patio stuff, maybe more towards a 9 week, I'd say. But yes, we can definitely use the e-collar to like e-collar is technically like a dog bite, like bite, don't do that. Yeah. And it's okay, I don't do that, right? And it's so less confrontational because all you're doing is pressing a button. You're not saying anything, you're not getting emotional, like, hey, leave it, you're just pressing the button. She already knows, okay, I don't do that. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. For now, I think I would just want the 6 week because we're leaving in September. So like just time wise, I'm sure your schedule is like booked now. So I probably would only have 6 weeks before.
And then you can always add classes as well. So let's say let's say you get booked like, I don't know, next weekend or something, right? You get scheduled. And then you're like, wow, I have enough time, and let's see if we can purchase more classes to get more obedience. You can absolutely do that as well.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible in the 6 weeks to do the first day is what, heel, off leash walking, or recall is day 2, or you said?
First 2 days is heel. Next 2 days is recall, and then you have 2 here. So we can go over a stationary command if you want, or review. These classes are whatever you want to learn. So we can also do that as well.
Best for me, I think, would be because would I be working with you if I were to book?
It's up to you. Jesse's booked for a while. Have more open availability.
Yeah.
I'm working like the reactivity cases, obedience cases, stuff like that, and a little bit of behavior. Jesse's more like aggressive dog stuff and big dog, all that intense stuff.
Yeah, I don't think Luna is in that category, so it would be perfect.
Intense to me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So those 2 days would be dope. To like the patio stuff would be like an awesome addition in the future, but for now, just the stick close to me when we're walking off leash, that kind of stuff, like to really get that.
Yeah, that's the 2 classes first. That's heel. So our version of heel is walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop.
Uh-huh.
So if I take 5 steps with Luna, Luna takes 5 steps. If I take 10, Luna takes 10. And then if I come to a stop, she's to automatically sit. And this is all done with no words. She's just to do this, right? And this is all done with a slack leash in any environment. This is what is expected, our version of heel, right? So that's
Does that,
covered.
oh, sorry.
Go.
Does that translate to like off leash heel as well, or is that separate?
Yes. So the more we use the e-collar, and the less we use a leash, the first class, we're already trained for off leash heel, right? There's different phases. So we have phases like the short leash phase, the long leash phase, and then long leash drag, and then no leash in an enclosed area, and then no leash in an unenclosed area, right? There's these different phases, and we need to get success in every single phase before we move on to the next phase, right? The long leash is super important because we need to make sure that everything she gets exposed to, she is, responding correctly to the commands. Things happen, you can have your long leash and everything, and then like a firework goes off and she starts to run. But since you have the long leash, you have that security and then your remote to kind of work her through that, right? So you're like, okay, I now know she is scared of fireworks, but we worked her through it, so shouldn't be a problem. Or more exposure obviously would help with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I will say she's not really scared of city noises, which is good. This is like a aside, but it's animals. It's like ducks and geese. That's what she goes nuts for. Yeah.
She goes nuts for what?
Ducks and geese, rabbits, birds. I mean, she's a bird dog.
Yeah, she got good prey drive then, right? Prey drive. Yeah.
All of that. Yeah. So that's why I need the e-collar.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We have a video, Gilmore on Instagram. He's like, is it Gilmore? Gilmore, right? He sees a squirrel. He's got crazy squirrel drive. And the owner says break, which means he can go get the squirrel. So he's going to get the squirrel. He chases it, and then Gilmore come, and then you see him just like 180 and come back, right? So yeah, we have a lot of videos of that. There's another dog named Shadow. She's doing it. She's like doing like the little stalker, like walk towards the squirrel.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends on, I think the 6-week would be good for you, seeing how it works. And, sometimes owners are like, wow, that was really fast. Let's get more class and all these other things, right? But heel and recall will definitely be covered in those classes. And we can do a little bit of long leash work in that as well, because we'll have time in like the recall video or the recall lesson.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Am I missing anything? Any questions so far?
No, I'm fairly sure I'm going to go ahead with this with you. Is it best to like meet at your guys' facility for the first few classes, or could we just go straight to Oz Park?
We go straight to Oz. So if, let's say you did the 6-week, right? Example, Sundays, 1 p.m., you get 7 Sundays at 1 p.m. at Oz Park, right? Yeah. That 7th Sunday is in case rains or something happens. You have a slot reserved for you that no one can take away. You have that slot. Now, once you've used that slot, you would have to wait for more availability and like get put back on the schedule, right? So 7 Sundays at 1 p.m., that's your time for an hour. So it's 1 hour a class a week. We give you one topic to focus on so that we don't overwhelm you with information. But pros, you're doing everything yourself. It's all verbal coaching. We don't touch the dog. We just coach you through it. So you're doing everything yourself.
Oh, I was hoping you guys do the collar the first few days.
If you want, so we have other programs as well. So if you're trying to get speed and get her, have the foundation, and then we give her to you like this is what we do and everything, you're probably leaning more towards like the daycare and train or board and train. So daycare and train, you would just kind of drop her off here for the day, and then you pick her up at the end of the day, right? She gets to play with dogs. We have treadmills here. She gets to learn how to do the treadmill. All that's changing is that we're just training her. It's me in the videos. You get a few, depending on what program you choose, you get an hour-long video for her weeks. So let's say you do like the 10-day, you get two videos, 1 hour long each. And then you're seeing how she took to the e-collar her first day, what commands she knows. So with these programs, it's heel, stay down, place, come when called. And then you get those videos, right? Once you've seen those videos, you can start practicing, and then you get follow-up lessons as well, right? So then, we can schedule a follow-up like, hey, I practice this. We're having issues here. Okay, let's see what's going on. Or if you just want to wait till the follow up and not practice, you can do that as well, and we can just walk you through the commands.
I guess I hadn't considered that option of daycare. I just thought lessons would be better, but maybe that's better. I don't know.
It's up to you. If you're wondering how how these lessons kind of work and everything, the progress, we have all our videos are posted on YouTube. So all you would have to do is type in, lesson 1, Jesus San Miguel. That's the YouTube channel's name. And all you click is lesson 1, and then you just watch any lesson 1 you like and just seeing how it works, right?
Yeah.
I think it'd be great for you to kind of get hands-on, get used to it and everything. And we're there, we're helping you and everything.
I think that's actually better. I just got distracted. I'm so afraid that she's gonna hate me, and I know that's dumb.
Oh, no. So she will never know you're pressing the button. She's going to be thinking it's like the universe or something telling her what to do, right? It doesn't affect relationships. It doesn't take away certain personality traits. Maybe for the first week or 2, you might see a little bit of stress, right? Because e-collar is a stressor. No one likes getting disciplined, right? So if we get a dog whose stress response is anxiety, and then we start e-collar training and we get a lot of anxiousness coming out, e-collar didn't make your dog anxious. Your dog was already anxious. We're just seeing it in response to e-collar, right? It's important to work your dog through this so that we get over that hump, so that they're realizing, oh, this is all I have to do, right? If we stop or we're too emotional about it, right, your dog will never overcome that, and you're always going to be struggling in like the e-collar training and everything like that, right?
Yeah. Is the 1 week break between classes like too much time?
No,
it's not. Okay.
because
That's still like, sorry, go ahead.
We give you homework to practice throughout the week, right? Very easy to practice. Like I said, everyone walks their dog, so it's important for you to do the homework correctly and everything like that. Like I said, you'll never mess up your dog. What else? Does that answer your question? Because yes, there's an hour break, right? But there's homework needing to be done there. Usually the first class we get what we're looking for, and then after that it's like, here's what it looks like. Now just keep doing this for the rest of the week. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Is it an option to schedule like 6 days in a row, like 6 classes in a row, or would that not make sense? Or like 2 a week?
I can check. I'm not sure. Are you just worried about getting it done in time before you leave?
Partly, yeah, because so I'm studying for the bar exam right now, which is in July. So until I'm like I'm kind of like focused on something else that's not her. So I was hoping to do all 6 in August. And I don't know if that's an option. So that would require like doubling up on a week.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So you're saying that there would be one moments where you're not going to be able to make a class.
No. I'm saying that I have this exam end of July and I leave end of August. So that's 4 weeks in between. But I want to do this 6-week program when I have free time in August, because right now I'm like busy with other things. So would it be possible to squeeze the 6-week one-on-one training into 4 weeks?
Oh, okay, I see. I'm not sure. I don't see an issue with that. I would have to talk with Jesse, see if that can be arranged.
If not, then we can go the full 6 weeks. That's fine. I'll make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to think of anything else. Any other questions?
No, I know you said you had to go at 8:15, so I don't want to hold you over because I was late.
Yeah. If anything pops up or any questions, feel free to email me and I'll answer them. But like I said, Luna sounds very simple to work with. I don't, you didn't say anything behavior-wise, so I didn't hear anything out of the ordinary. So I think she'd be great. What else? After this, I'll send you a follow-up email, right? Programs we talked about. So I'll send you the 6-week, 9-week, and then your answer to your question about squeezing in a 6-week into 4 weeks. And then the e-collar I recommend for Luna. You can purchase it yourself, or you can purchase it through us, same price and everything. You're just, you know, if you get it on Amazon, you can have it for yourself, fiddle
Right.
around with it, and then upcoming session, you have some knowledge about it. Um, so program fees, um, program fees, e-collar I recommend, and then a form, agreement thing that you need to sign. Once that is signed, then we can begin billing and booking. Um, and then from there we can go on like availability wise and all those other things. What else? Anything else?
No, just please find out if the 4 weeks and 6 week thing could happen.
For sure. All right. Awesome. It was nice speaking with you.
Thank you.
Again, just keep an eye out for that follow-up email. Should be sent out either tomorrow or the following day, or if tonight if I can get to them, because again, like we're getting super busy and everything like that.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, awesome. All right, have a good night.
Yeah, thanks. See you later.
You.